This year marks 75 years of mission in Japan. The international dimension of our missionary work is very important. Our Justice, Peace and Ecology ministry is in contact with corresponding society-wide activities and uses international resources to bring an awareness of justice and ecological issues to the church in Japan. In our pastoral ministries, we are in contact with migrants from overseas, providing religious and social support in up to 3 languages. Another international dimension is the financial support extended to other Columban areas, including Myanmar, Pakistan and the Philippines. Thanks to our local church connections, we can raise funds to help out with projects in these countries. We give thanks for the dedication and faith of both our priests and the people of God, and humbly look forward to the future.
What you've written here is the Christian martyrs, and they were made fukushas. Fukushas mean they were made blesseds, not saints yet, but made blesseds. And this is to remember, this park was set up to recall this in memory of the fact that the martyrs, 11 martyrs of Yatsushiro, this particular town, were made blesseds. But in fact, at that time, there were 187 martyrs of Japan that were made blessed at that time, and just 11 of them happened to be from Yatsushiro. And it was shortly after that the bishop of the diocese, he wanted to he thought it would be a good idea to have some kind of a park here to commemorate these martyrs. So 2 years later, in fact, the bishop bought this property here. It used to be tennis courts. And so anyway, he bought it, and it was rough and ready, and there were nice sakura trees, which are the cherry blossoms at the very end, but there were tennis courts here on the near side. But then there was, in the middle of it, then there was a little sort of remembrance thing, a white cross set up, but it really is kind of pathetic. But it couldn't be otherwise, because there was no money to fund it. So some while later, anyway, the Columbans were celebrating their 100th anniversary, and it was, they very generously made a decision that we would help in the funding to fund the development of this park, to make it something worthwhile, and that you wouldn't be ashamed of when talking about the Christian park, you know. So what you have here is the history of what's the whole background of what happened. But anyway, we'll move on around the park here, because there were 11 martyrs, and so if you look around the park here, you'll see 11 cherry blossom trees. And the cherry blossoms are to commemorate, each is for one of the martyrs. And so beside each tree, you have this white pole here with the name of one particular martyr. So the stones you have over here, these were stones that were around the high wall of the church, which is about half a mile away from here. And we knocked half the wall away to lower the thing so that the place brighten up the whole church. And so we used the stones here to make seats here. So that stones that were used to build walls between people are now used here to have people sit and relax and come together, which is nice, you know. We have the same thing over the church. But when we move around here, these are just more of this man was called Petro. His name was Peter. Hattori was his name, Peter. So, but we have Mass here every 3 years. There's a big festival here for the martyrs. Bishop comes and all the priests of the area gather, and the Shinjas, and we have tents and everything here. It's a wonderful day, remembering the martyrs, you know. So when we were setting this place up, as I said before, there was no funds whatsoever to do it, but the Columban's provided the funds to do it. And of course, this where the money, the Columban's get the money. That all comes from the people that support us all over the world. And that's where that money came from, to develop this lovely park. So when it has been designed, actually, we asked a lot of the people around the place what would they like, because actually we wanted them to be able to use it as well. And we had a number of students as well who were studying at school how to develop parks and things like that. And we had all this input, and then this is what the final production was. So if we walk around this side here, you'll see that there are stones around the way. On the square stones, you have the Sermon on the Mount, and then on the round stones, you see the families, or the people that were massacred, that were killed. They were kind of families. There were a number of families. So on each stone, you have this particular family. They were in this family, and then the next one. That's what's on the round stones. Has to be said here, has to be acknowledged, is the generosity of the people who support the Columbans, and this is why this park is here today. And it is a lovely place. It's quiet. People can come and they can sit over here in the shade and sit quietly and have quiet time. The children come, and it's a lovely place to come.